Hey, thank you, Worship. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, thank you. So I was kind of just sort of thinking about it and sort of didn't sit well with me after our 3 days hearing of the racism hearing. And the last day, I heard the mayor stating that you had when you were growing up some time ago, and you had a gun pointing at your head as a former police officer, and it doesn't sit well with me because I've been thinking, every time a police officer, like at the time I was policeman, if I have the gun out, and there's a lot of checks and balances, let's call it, the police train extensively, especially on the use of force policy. And every time we draw a weapon, we have to file a report. I'm sure still the same, the use of force report. And if there's no good reason, some police officer draw a gun just because, and at people, and the, the the Calgary Police Service reputation is very important because I was part of it, and I don't want a bad apple to ruin the cart, and sort of speaking. So my question for you, Your Worship, for you, is that we've been on the council. I've been on the council for close to 7 years. Never heard of it. And why didn't you report it? And I encourage you to report now because there's no statutory limitation, and we have to do that. I really believe that we have to weed out the bad, make our police service even better.
Thanks very much for that, Councillor Chu, and I appreciate you thinking about that. As I said on Monday, it didn't happen here. As I said at the hearing, it didn't happen here. I've actually never had a bad experience with the Calgary Police Service, but it did happen somewhere with a real police officer. It's a story I've told many times. However, I do think that it is actually not a real police officer, several real police officers. It's a story I've told many times, but as we heard many times during the hearing, it shouldn't take people's personal stories for us to affect change. We should trust people. We should understand that the system has a problem and that we need to work on that. And certainly, you will have seen, many of you, and I hope the rest of you do watch, a documentary that was aired on the CBC last week specifically about the Calgary Police Service. I don't need any more stories. What I need from the Calgary Police Service is explanations. I need to understand what is happening now and how they have continued to be on a journey, which is a good journey, towards being allies of people in the community, particularly marginalized people. But what we need now is change. What we need now is action. And when we heard in that documentary that one complaint is now in its sixth year of investigation with no resolution, in fact, no communication to the complainants. These are the sorts of things that I think are extremely challenging. And we have to figure out not just how we be better, but also how we follow up better. But thank you so much for the question.